Hello everyone, Ruby Retrograde Tarot NT here, and what I will be serving you guys today is a VR, a video response. My very first one, in fact. And this is the 7 decks for Deadly Sins. Now, I know that was started maybe like a couple months ago. I think, like, from what I see, it seems to be that it started back probably in December or something like that. But yeah, it just so happened, the good old YouTube algorithm actually plopped a video about it, and it was the video made by Moonlight Arcana, where she listed her 7 deadly sins and the decks attached to it. And then I kind of fell into the rabbit hole. I watched their channel, and then after that, the VR for Pagan Pineapple, and then finally decided to watch the original one, which was the one made by Sylvain's Deadly Sins. And then by the time I got to his video, and then I had watched others, I thought to myself, this sounds like a really fun exercise. I want to try and do it. So it took me a little bit, and I tried very hard to not have repeat decks, because a good couple of decks I have in my collection could fit in a few of the sins, but I tried very hard to keep them in one under one sin, so that I wouldn't be repeating myself and it wouldn't just be like 5 decks in the end or something like that. So without further ado, let's start with the first sin, which is, I do have my notes here, so let me just go and take a look at them. Which is Pride, decks that you have bought for flexing purposes, or to flex. Now, it's, to me, I didn't necessarily take it as decks that I bought to flex, but it's more decks that I'm very glad to have. Like, I have a sense of pride that I have them in my collection. There's one of them, maybe there's a little bit of flexing, but yeah, but mostly it's like, oh yeah, I'm so glad I have them in my collection. So I will show you the two. It is Oak, Ash, and Thorn, and Tarot de Marseille by Mama Yuki. So Oak, Ash, and Thorn, this is by Stephanie Burrows and Adam Ohlers. Sorry if I mispronounced it. The Oak, Ash, and Thorn, this one, I'm glad that I got it, and it's there's, you know what, yes, let's admit there's a little bit of a flex, because when I first learned about this deck, I believe it wasn't, I think it was momentarily out of print. There was another batch that was coming or something like that. But the thing is, to order it and to have it sent here in Canada, it was going to be very pricey. So as much as I wanted that deck, it kind of was a little bit too rich for my blood for me to get the deck. So it was on my list. We're like, oh, I would really like to buy it. But the exchange rate, the shipping fees that would have attached, it's too much. So it was kind of like, oh, I really wish I could. And then one day there was someone who was parting with their copy of it, and they happened to be in Canada. So, oh my goodness, I jumped so fast on this. I said, yes, I'll take it. Yes. And so that's how I ended up having a copy. And there's a little bit of there's a sense of pride and a little bit of flexing, because later on I had seen, because I do my usual, I peruse Marketplace and just check what decks are available, and there was someone that was in search of the Oak and Ash and Thorn tarot, and of course I'm not going to part with my copy, because oh my goodness, if I were to rebuy it, it would be so expensive. And right now, I'm not sure if it's still in print or if there's still stock. But it's just such beautiful illustrations. It's in terms of animal decks, I think this is probably one of my favorites, if not the favorite. But yeah, this is definitely one where I'm like, haha, I got it. Yes. And it's not leaving, at least not in the foreseeable future. Now the next one, let's close this. The next one, Tahoe Marseille, it's a little bit for the same reason, which was the fact that I had to order it from Japan. I made a video about this deck earlier, so if you've seen that video, or if you haven't, you can go and check it out, the unboxing. You know, the fact that I had to use many middlemans just to get that deck. And part of it is also because someone was mentioning how they would really like it, and I managed to get a copy. And when I was saying that I had it finally, they were like, oh my gosh, how did you manage to get it? And it was a little bit of a haha. Yep, I have my ways, but you know, it's not in a mean way, but I did tell them, you know, how all the circles and hoops I jumped through to get it. But you know, just for the all the effort that was spent in getting it, I am glad to have it. And so and also, you know what, I'll do an honorable mention also for Pride, for True Black. True Black, I put it under Another Sin, which you'll see soon enough. But that's another deck where I'm glad to have it. So, Mama Yuki, Tahoe Marseille, and Oak, Ash, and Thorn for Pride. Now on to the second sin, which is greed. That we take it as decks that you would use only for yourself. You wouldn't share with others. There's a few that I wouldn't share with others, only because I haven't got the impression that those would be decks that I would use for others if other wanted a readings, or because I just got them, I haven't worked with them, or they're done a deck interview with them, so I haven't gotten a solid impression as to whether to you know, this is just a me deck or others deck. But two particular ones is Tarot the Divine and the Grand Ethereal. Both of them, well, it's both for particular reasons. The Tarot Divine, ever since I got it, it just felt like it's mine and just mine. It is quite a popular deck. It's not as if it's this like secret, rare to find deck and oh my goodness, I just want it for myself. No one gets to see it. But it's just, for some reason, I felt this personal, kind of don't do readings for outside people with it, or for others with it. Just kind of keep it to yourself. And as you can see, just looking at some of the cards, they're beautiful. They're based on stories, folk tales, mythologies from around the world. Oh wow, it's shiny because of the linen finish. For a second I thought I had some sparkles in there. But yeah, so that is the one. And the second one, the Grand Ethereal. This one is not so much because I feel like it's mine, but it is a system that I'm still learning. And so I am not all that comfortable doing a reading for others when this one kind of breaks my head about it. And this deck I could also put under Wrath, because of the fact that reading with it or just learning the system is sometimes a headache by itself, because it's not based on Marseille, it's not based on Rider-Waite-Smith. If you kind of want to put it like historically, I think it's between Marseille and Rider-Waite-Smith, if I'm not mistaken. It's younger than Marseille, older than Rider-Waite-Smith. And you know, upright means one thing, reverse means another, but also some cards beside each other, like whether they're to the left or to the right, will mean certain things, depending. And so just getting around that sometimes, yeah, it's a headache. But that one is just because I'm not ready to try and read for others with that one. So for greed, and an honorable mention to, which one did I say again? Oh no, just those two. Never mind. So, Grand Eteia and Tarot of Tarot of the Divine for my greed decks. Next up on the Cardinal Sins, we have Wrath, decks that made you angry. And I have 3 in particular for, well, all the reasons have to do with the fabrication of it, and not so much the art. But I'll start. The first one, the Joy Seeker Tarot. This is a Kickstarter that was completed in the last year. This is the first edition of it. Okay. I think it first started 2021. I want to say like beginning of the year or something. I forgot her name. I am so sorry. I would have to try and find her name, but I cannot remember. But this tarot is actually the first tarot deck that I backed on Kickstarter when I got back into tarot and started discovering all the different styles and kinds of tarot. So at the time, I was not familiar with the concept of cardstock. I heard about it. I heard about, oh yeah, and you know, some people preferred matte or glossy or linen or rose petal. But, you know, these were all terms that I didn't necessarily, it didn't click. It didn't mean necessarily anything to me. All I knew was that, you know, can I hold it? Will it break if I hold it? Is it the thinness of toilet paper? No? Okay, then it's good. So in that first Kickstarter, the stock or the card stock was said to be cover paper, I think, or something like that. So in my head, I'm like, oh, okay, whatever, cover paper. I'm thinking like our hard book cover. So I'm like, oh, that seems pretty strong. So, you know, time comes by, the Kickstarter was funded, completed, printed. The deck comes by, and as you can see, I mean, it's very pretty cards, and it's all, I believe how it was, it's watercolors painted, if I remember correctly. But the thing that I was disappointed is, like, I don't know how to express this through a video, but the flimsiness, like cover paper is not, it's just, it felt very flimsy. I held it, I started kind of like flipping through it, and I was like, oh no, I feel like my thumb is gonna sink through the paper and make a hole. And I'm like, how? I usually riffle shuffle, you know, bridge, do that little bridge thing to shuffle it in. Like, oh my goodness, these cards are gonna get creased or something. But the paintings, they're beautiful. So it was kind of a letdown. And then the same creator, I don't even want to like invent a name and it's wrong, but that same creator made the Joy Seeker Oracle. And wouldn't you know that she was offering the tarot, but with better cardstock. So I'm sitting there going like, ugh, I don't want to buy the Oracle and then the Tarot just to have a better cardstock. But man, I was so bummed, and I was not pleased on that one. And I was like, how did we know? And you know, I guess I could say, granted, it was her first Kickstarter ever, so maybe she wasn't familiar as well with cardstock, and so that's why, you know, we ended up, the first edition ended up like this. But still, it was not fun. So that is the first one, the Joy Seeker Tarot. The second one that made me upset, the Harmony Tarot by Harmony Nice, for 2 reasons. One, so here is the deck. So this, if to you it seems a little bit different, I ordered this deck through what is it called? Book Depository. So this is the UK European version, if we want to call it that. I think you can buy it here in Canada and the States. I want to say, oh, is it US Games? I don't remember, but it looks different than this presentation. So it comes here. So the first reason I'm upset, it's not because it's a split deck, like whichever. So that's not the reason why I'm upset. So the first reason, let me just, and actually, like, it looks like it's split there, but actually what happens is the book goes here and the whole deck goes there. It's just that I was looking at the other cards. But anyways, the reason why, once again, I got it, and it's flimsy card stock. I was like, oh my gosh, not again. I just went through it with Joy Seeker, and I get, you know, just thin cards. And so it makes for a very big band on top of it. And the other thing that really bothered me and bothers me just in general is that, to me, when tarot is something specific, it's rather rigid, I'll say. Tarot is a system that consists of 78 cards, 22 of which are categorized as major arcana, the rest being minor arcana, which are further separated into 4 different suits under the realm of cups, pentacles, wands, swords, each having 14 cards. Is it 14? Cards running from 1 to 10, followed by the 4 court cards. Names could change. Sometimes I get bothered by if the name changes a little bit too outside the box, but that's neither here or there. But to me, that is a tarot. But then you call tarot, and I'm thinking, when I first saw it, you know, first off, the images are so pretty. It feels so soft. It feels like spring. It's just lovely, 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 lovely. Look at the sun. It's so cute. La lune is so cute. So here so when I first saw it, I think I don't remember exactly. Maybe I saw a video by Harmony Nice herself, who was talking about the deck she was creating and everything. And so I was looking at the cards, and, you know, I saw things like Le Soleil, so sun, and then moon. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, it's okay, tarot, but it's just that she renamed some cards. Okay, whatever. But I'm reading the handbook, and I'm like, okay, and I'm trying to relate those new names to whether it's Rider-Waite-Smith or Marseille system, and it's not. It turns out it's not quite it. Like, it doesn't. It is, but like, it's so far off that it feels like a whole system, almost kind of like what is that deck? I think it's like something like Gaia Tarot or something like another, where it's like a whole new system. Or I think the Wild Unknown is another deck that's like its own system, like a whole new revamped new system. But I mean, just like, you know, you have the Ace of Spring, and then you have 2, and it's not tarot. It doesn't follow the system of tarot. Like, sure, you have your page and your knight, and like, it's I don't know, it just, especially for that first half, the major arcana, to so call it, the meanings are not there. I am not seeing those meanings. And then you have things like the goldfinch, or, you know, it's, when I was reading the handbook, it didn't relate to any of the major arcanas as I know it. You know, like forget-me-nots here, like they call it major arcana right here. And it even says here, like, this tarot deck works in a similar way to a traditional deck, but has an emphasis based around healing, growth, and well-being, which is all great. But just looking here, just reading the meanings and things, it's not tarot. The meanings are not, whether I think of it as RWS or Marseille, no, it doesn't catch. It just does not catch. I mean, just here, like, if I were to follow this here, let me see, I think the very first card is like the goldfinch or something like that. So if this would be like 0, 1, 2, and 3, then 3 would make it the Empress. Yeah, the Empress. But the Empress is not necessarily about balance or fairness or moderation. I mean, if you're really intuitive and you have a spread, and maybe, but it's not quite. like, it is, but it isn't. So anyways, it bothered me enough that I had to kind of make it in my mind. I have to think of it in my mind as it being more of an oracle. I have to treat it as an oracle. Once that I made it in my mind that it was an oracle, then it's like I felt more optimistic about it. But seeing it as a tarot, no, because it deviates far enough from typical meanings of tarot that it kind of confuses my brain, and it kind of I get frustrated that it's not proper system. But in any case, I spoken enough of it. Harmony Tarot has like 2 knocks against it. That's why I'm upset. And the third one is the Tahoe Initiative by Arnaud Malherbe. The reason why I'm upset with it, once again, the images are beautiful. Like, I guess partly I could be upset by the largest, like how big the cards are. I did not expect the cards would be that big. So when I got it, I was like, holy, like who needs these big of a card? I mean, it's not even as if like the cards have like a ginormous amount of detail that you need to like blow up the picture or make it that big so that you can look like it's blocky. It's this kind of I don't know, avant-garde art type of thing. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's very like block, bright colors, primary colors, even like high contrast. You know, it's not, I don't know. The amount of detail does not warrant that size. But the reason why I'm annoyed was because it took me so long to find this deck. I had to go over to Amazon France to order it. It took me so long, and then I don't know if you can see it here. Oh, there, I have to take one card. Like, it's not cut. Like, it's all centered when it was cut. It took me so long. I tried to order it from my local store. It showed that it was in stock, but then they ended up saying no, it wasn't, so they canceled my order. That happened twice with 2 different stores, I think. And I finally had to go on Amazon. Look at this, like the corner is darn near like cut off here, like almost. Only to have off-centered cards. And after all this effort, do I feel like going and returning this thing all the way to Amazon France so I could get another copy? No. So now I have to deal with off-center cards. And even like some cards, it feels like some ink kind of ran out. So, and my eye catches these things and it kind of gets bothered by it. But otherwise, it's a really beautiful like design of a deck. And I think this is my most fun Marseille deck that I have. Like, I really like it. But, these issues. Oh, did I put all the cards? Yeah, okay. So in any case, that is sorry, I'm knocking my camera over here. So that is for the Sin of Wrath. These 3 offenders, though I find them very pretty. These are the 3 offenders. And now we are moving on to the next sin. Now the next sin, it is the Cardinal Sin of Envy, a deck that I wanted because others had it. A few decks would have fit in the category, and in fact, I'm going to make an honorable mention to a deck that I don't yet have because it's a Kickstarter that I backed and it hasn't been sent yet. But the honorable mention goes to Aliman and the literary tarot. Aliman, you know, just myself personally in general, I do not like collab decks, or you know, if it is a collaboration, it can't be, you know, 5+ people. And in the case of the Aliman's tarot, I'm pretty sure there's as many collaborator as there were cards that were borrowed by the publishing goblin. But I guess the campaign was written in such a way that it was compelling enough that I was like, oh my gosh, okay, fine, let's just go and get it. So that's the honorable mention. And the literary tarot is, I love books, I love reading, And so when I heard that this Kickstarter was coming, it was going to be launched soon, I was gung-ho to go. And there were many people also who were excited to get it. So I definitely wanted it because it was literary and because other people also want, well, I was part of the people that also wanted it. And I guess I might have also tried to get people to encourage, I don't know, did I encourage people? Anyways, honorable mentions. But the two that I do have here, it is the Star Spinner Tarot and True Black. Now, True Black could have fit in the Pride Sin. It could also fit, I'll say, in the next one, Lust. Definitely wanted it because it was pretty much the aesthetics. But yes. What am I saying? I'm getting lost here. Sorry. Definitely, when I first learned of True Black, it was someone, where was it? It was in a tarot group. I want to say it was probably on Discord that had taken pictures of a spread that they had. And so I didn't know the name at the time. I was like, oh my gosh, that is such a unique deck. What it is, oh, it's True Black. And the more that I saw cards, and you know, there were other people in that group that had it, and they were just gushing and raving and on how cool it was. The want and wants meter kind of went a little bit more and more to the point that I'm like, oh my gosh, I would love to buy this deck. But at first I didn't have the budget. But what ended up happening, a lovely soul gifted it to me, and oh my goodness, this is, I think, like up there in my favorite or best looking decks. For Star Spinner, that was definitely, you know, everybody raving about Star Spinner, how beautiful it was, that it was based on stories. Hold on, let me see if I can. Yeah, I think it's still kind of in order. How inclusive it was. And let me see, am I at the Lovers yet? Yes, the Lovers. If you see, there's about like 4 cards that represents the Lovers. Oh, here. So, you know, you have this version of the Lovers and that version of the Lover and another version of the Lover. Do you want more Lovers? Here's some more Lovers. Do you want to put one? Put 1, 2, like all of them. Just go crazy, go wild. And also the backs are really pretty. And for a time when I was watching just, you know, Tarot Tube, and whether it was card readings or whatever else that was related to tarot, I mean, there were I would say a good amount of people that were talking about this deck or that were using it in their readings. So yeah, this one is one of the most blatant. Oh, I'd like it because other people had it and they convinced me. Because at first I was kind of like, oh yeah, that's kind of nice. That's okay, that's nice. But the more that I heard and the more that people were like, oh yeah, it's great, you should definitely have it, it's beautiful. Guess what happened? It was ordered. So that is the Star Spinner. And in case no one had seen True Black, I don't know how no one could have seen True Black. Let me just open that up for you here. Hold on. Like, I just keep it like this. Look how pretty, like black edge, like sophistication. That is True Black to me. So let's see here. Okay, just a few cards here. Just the fact that there's UV spots, and oh, the card stock, like everything about it is top notch. This one is one of my favorite High Priestess. Let's see what else. We got the Chariot here. In the Minors. Like, oh, this one is like this 5 of Cups. Just, mwah, chef's kiss. Oh, it's a little bit sticky. That's the one thing. It tends to stick after a while. Okay. Just, anyways. Sin of Envy. Envy? Yes, Sin of Envy. Star Spinner. Oh, sorry. And True Black. All right. Now, for the next sin, it is Lust. Decks that you have or you like or bought just for the aesthetics. So the aesthetics kind of threw money out your wallet for it. So I have many offenders, but we'll pick 3 with, again, an honorable mention for True Black because aesthetics was definitely had me lusting for that deck. So Ethereal Visions, Children of Litha, and the new choice Tahoe Marseille. Ethereal Visions by Matt Hughes. This one, definitely the aesthetics is what got me first and foremost. As it was the box cover for the is it the Empress? Let me see here. Yes, definitely the Empress. When I first saw that card, it was like I perked up. I was like, yes, show me more. Then you have the Strength card. I was like, yes, I'm here for it. Then I saw Justice. I'm like, tell me more. And I think, oh yes, by the time, and then of course I looked at Temperance. I was like, yes, all the yeses. The Tower I thought was pretty cool. The Star card, the Moon. By the time I got to the Moon, I was like, please, the money, it is yours. And of course, yes, and then of course me and my smarty self went and ordered it in Japan. And so it took me forever to get it. But it's here, it's there. And now I am glad to have it. You know, just the look of it, the design, just so beautiful. So beautiful. And I should also make another honorable mention as to for the Dream Visions Tarot. That was also a deck that I saw on Kickstarter. It looks so good. I pretty much went and got it with barely reading through the description. But this other one, Children of Litha by Shah Hunt. Just first off, the whole aesthetics of it. Look at it. Let me just move that aside. It's all fantastical creatures like fairies and mermaids. Oh, sorry, we have some nudity here. But look at this Empress. The Emperor looking all cool. The Hierophant. Bull-like personages. Then we got the Lovers. Oh, that Chariot. It is pretty poppin'. That Strength card. Yes. Once again, sorry for the nudity. That Justice. I thought she was pretty cool. All right. And this is one of those decks where I was like, wow, what a nice death card. Let me just skip over to the miners. The miners are more animals. I'll look at that. Now I'm at the Moon. Oh, yes, the sun, I remember. Totally looks like Bastet. But if I skip over to the miners, just these different animals here. It's all aquatic animals. A narwhal. Okay, and the cards all look cool. Look at that. And then if we move to the pentacles, here we have more land animals. And I think, let me just skip over to... He makes me think of a Mulan character. Then we got swords. I believe it's all birds and fowls. Pretty intense Three of Swords, I must say. And then wands. Yes, wands. I believe it's all felines. Yes. And dogs. Look at that. That is so adorable. I think that's my... if this could be like a family picture, I would blow this up and put this hanging on my wall. But yes, the aesthetic was definitely what got me wanting that deck. And I was lucky because one day Zia Hunt was having a what do we call it, a seconds or a second best sale, where it was cards that had defects or things like that. And so it was on, oh, I don't remember, maybe 30 or 40%. I want to say 30% off maybe, but I jumped on it, bought it, and as you can see, the defect, this right here, that was a defect. The cards were perfect and everything else. And the third one is the new choice Tarot de Marseille. This is another one of those decks. Oh, look at the side of those cards that I got for the aesthetics, and particularly the minors, because I believe I had seen the minor cards first, and it's just the flowers. The flowers are so pretty. Look at that. Oh, and the more that I saw it, and I sat on it, on whether I should back it on Indiegogo or not, and the more I saw it, the more I could think of the flowers in the minors and how pretty they were. Let's look over here for the cups, and it's just, oh, it's so pretty. The more I was thinking about it, I was just thinking how pretty it was, how well drawn. Oh, and I'm sorry, I didn't even say, so this deck is designed by Rosario Salerno, and so, and also even like I skipped over to the minors because just how well drawn the flowers are. But even if we go to the minors, the people there, they look so, like, it's such a modern touch. I like their clothing. Like, I like the Empress's clothing, like the Emperor here. This kind of makes me laugh every time I see it, you know. Strength card, love it. Makes me think of a JoJo character. Sorry for the nudity. It is not me, it is the nature of the cards. But just look at, like, this sun looks smug. I love it. It makes me smile. But yes, definitely aesthetics played a part on me getting this deck. It was so pretty, and I don't even think I remembered that there was a color to the edges. So when I got it and I saw that it had this shiny copper, I almost want to say like this, almost this red tone copper. I was like, oh my gosh, yes, it makes it even prettier. So here we have for lust, the 3 culprits of lust. Now on to the next sin. Now on to the next sin, which is the sin of gluttony. A deck that I didn't need but got anyway. That has happened a few times. I think I could have picked maybe 5 or 6. Well, maybe almost close to 10 decks, but I narrowed it down to 3 in particular that really, when I thought about it, deep down I knew I didn't necessarily need it, but I bought it anyways. So the first one I'll start with is the Fortuna Tarot deck. That one is made by Studio Artemy. The reason why this is on there is because I already have a tarot, like a deck that kind of fills in the I don't know what to call this style, like minimalist line art deck, but I ended up getting it because it was purple and it was shiny. Okay, so hold on, actually, you know what, let me just show you the deck that I had originally, that is pretty much the reason why I didn't need to buy this one. Okay, so what I had already was soul cards. which I think it's made by, it's just made by Soul Card Tarot. Sorry, I don't think I have the name here. Oh yeah, that's made by Christine Fredheim, Corina Nika, and Eva Eklund. So as you can see, let me just move that here like that. I mean, they're pretty similar. It's minimalist, it's line art. The only difference here is the backs in the soul cards, they're not reversible as compared to Fortuna. You know, you can reverse it, you won't know. Here we have, you know, planets, signs. Here it's really keeps it down to basic. Even, you know, it's very line art, abstract, something like that. And then Fortuna here, it's the same thing. So, you know, you have, I believe that's the 8 of Wands. Is it the 8 of Wands? Yes, but here they don't call it wands. They call it, I think it's like keys. Oh, I don't remember exactly. Let me look at the guidebook because I don't remember what they call it. They call the minor icon as something different here. So they call them candles, elixirs, keys, and talismans. So that was the 8 of candles and things like that. But it is, this is what ended up convincing me. It was the hollow, it was the color, and the reason why also I bought it was because a sale happened. They put the deck on sale. And I folded, I bought it. It came to my house and now I have it. Here the only difference I would find is, let me see, well, if I could find quickly. So here you have, for example, for death, I find that this one has maybe a little bit more to it when it comes to the major arcana. This one, the strength card, this makes, like the little flower here, it makes me think of Beauty and the Beast, you know, the Disney version with the flower in the clutch. So here you see Princess of Candles, the devil, it being just a mirror. Oh, here, comparison of death to death. So see, I mean, abstract. This one you could probably guess more quickly that it's death than this one. This one I believe it might be a phoenix. But in any case, first guilty party for being gluttonous, the Fortuna Tarot. Now the other, let me get back in there. The other deck that I got when I did not need it really, because once again I had already a deck, Luna edition of Ethereal Visions. Now if you remember, I have the OG, so why get this? Something I think it's somewhere between I got convinced to get it because other people were getting it, so I guess you have a bit of envy there. You have also FOMO that was thrown in the mix, and also they were talking about how they had revamped cards, put more skin tone colors in there, and I do have a video up on the channel where I do a side-by-side comparison and flip through of the two editions, and my verdict was that yes, there is change, yes, there are changes, but I mean just enough changes basically. So I'm not gonna go through the whole deck here, but here, like, some changes are blatant, like it's in your face, and then other changes, let me see if I can, okay, if I find the six, yeah, the Six of Pentacles is a good example. Let me see here if I can find it. Six of Pentacles, where did you go? Hold on one second. All right, there. So you have cards like the Magicians, which are blatant changes, and then here you have the Six of Pentacles, where the change is a skin tone. So truthfully, I probably could have, I would have been quite satisfied having just that OG section. And I think also part of it was because while I was waiting for this to come to me from Japan, I ended up folding because I'm like, well, I'll get this. This will arrive and this will occupy me until I get OG there. But otherwise, no. I could have gotten one or the other and been fine with it. That was definitely a gluttonous on me. So, Luna editions of Ethereal Visions. Gluttony. Now the last one. Le Tarot Archétypal. Once again, for the same reason as the first two, I have a deck that is in the category of tattoo style or created by someone who is a tattoo artist or something like that. So this deck is made by Dystopia Tinta. It's in a tattoo style. It is a Marseille based, and Dystopia Tinta is a tattoo artist. What I already had was the Tattoo Tarot, quite literally. This one is made by, let me see here. Oh no. Well, the text was by Diana McMahon Collis, but let me see if they write the author, because I do not know the author off the top of my head. Megamunden. And so this person, Megamunden, they're not a tattoo artist, but they're an illustrator. So, you know, I already had a tattoo looking, tattoo inspired, tattoo based tarot. Why did I end up getting it? I think would it be envy? It was someone that was sharing picture of the deck and when they were doing spreads in their group. And the more, oh, look at this justice. It's just that I find so cool. The more that they were sharing their different spreads or card pulls that they were having, and the more that I saw it, the more that I kind of was like, oh, I think I want it. I kind of want it. I think I want it. I kind of, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, I ended up going to my local bookstore. I do like this sun card. And I ended up getting it when I did not need to. Truthfully, I had already a tattoo deck. So, you know, I can skip the... So here we have this. I mean, I think she's pretty cool there. Okay. So let me just show the tattoo tarot, which I really like too. I mean, this was the reason why I first got, this was the first one I decked. Oh, the Queen of Wands I think is really cool. I mean, and truthfully, between the two of them, I think I prefer the tattoo tarot a little, yeah, I think I prefer this one more than the Tarot Archétypal. Not to, will it mean that I'm going to end up selling it? I don't know. Maybe not right now. I haven't worked with it a lot, but it could be. Oh, I guess I had some reversals in there, but, you know, it's the same, and this is the same. It's Marseille base, it's pips, but I like the core cards in this deck the best. They look cool. And for, I think, I think the knights and the kings, I don't know, I find them all handsome. I'm like, wow, okay, this is what we're gonna do now. But gluttonous on me. So here we are, the 3 decks that definitely were gluttonous based. Now on to the last sin. Now for the last cardinal sin, it is the Sin of Sloth, a deck you turn to when you feel lazy. That one is a little bit easier for me. I have 2 decks for that one. And I think an honorable mention will go to Tarot of the Divine, and it'll be for the same reason as one of those decks. So, without further ado, the first one that I turn to when I feel lazy, it is the Rider-Waite-Smith. It is the Rider Tarot deck by US Games. I don't even know which edition it is, but it is this edition. Why do I turn to it? Because it's pretty much the base. It's the base of all the other decks that I have. Sometimes when if it's for learning purposes, then this is easy because most of the time they'll show a picture of Rider-Waite-Smith, so I kind of just follow along. Or if I'm doing live readings online, sometimes I don't want to break my head too much with very artful decks, and if a tarot deck decides to change cups to cups to, I don't know, chalices, or wands to candles, or go funky with their terms, and then I don't necessarily want to use all my brain power to try and do the conversion, so I just turn to Rider-Waite-Smith. And plus, also, it's so nice to shuffle this particular deck. Let me see, I want to make sure I'm not. This deck in particular is so, I don't know what it is about this particular card stock, but there's something about it. It's just about, well, yeah, I want to say bounces, but I don't know. Like, I don't have issues shuffling it this way. I don't have shuffling it from the back. Like, it's just the flexibility in it. It's just such a nice experience shuffling it. I really like it. I really like it. So, it's an easy breezy, beautiful cover girl type of, don't have to break your head over it. Rider deck. And then, in the same vein, the Modern Witch Tarot. Why? Because it's a clone. Yes, it's a little bit more artistic, but because it's just artistic enough that if I want something a little bit more diverse, I guess, if I don't want to necessarily go for the original Rider-Waite-Smith, if I want to have more vivid colors, I go with Modern Witch. Now, of course, there's the issue with the thickness of the cards, and also I could have also put that in Wrath, because I found that with this deck, when I shuffle it, I don't know if I have a card here that I can show, but I have little, I don't know, paper out like this one here. I don't know if you can see it here, but the paper is kind of lifting from the shuffling, and I got so bummed when I realized that that's what's happening, and it's kind of upsetting. So I could have put that in Wrath, but yeah, otherwise, just the vivid colors. Yes, it's all women, but whatever, I don't care. I like it. This, once again, yes, it's different imagery than Rider-Waite-Smith, but it's not, like Soul Cards or Fortuna, where it's just abstract and I'm doing a reading online or for somebody, and now I have to spend, twice the brain power to remember what means what. Or sometimes you want to give a reading, but, give a good reading, but without going and use more brain powers for this, because of there's maybe the artist decided to go very deep into symbolism or things like that. I hope you understand what I mean. But yeah, the Rider-Waite-Smith. And also did my honorable mention of the Tarot of the Divine, which I had for Greed. The reason why I would have put it also for the Sloth category is because both the Rider-Waite-Smith and the Tarot of the Divine is on my night table. So if I want to do a card of the day, or do a tarot, like a monthly tarot challenge, the deck is right there. I just have to open my drawer and the Rider-Waite-Smith is right there, or the Tarot of the Divine is just sitting on my night table ready to use. So, you know, if I feel lazy, I don't have to, and I'm in bed, I don't have to get out of bed and find a deck, or I don't have to start, you know, looking at my shelf and moving my decks around that are on my shelf. It's just right there. I just grab and go. And Soul Card almost could be in that category too, because it is on my night table too, but it wasn't, because it's linear art and it's not, you know, when your brain power is on low, Soul Cards is not necessarily the best one, for me, at least for me. And so with that concludes the VR 7 decks for 7 deadly sins. So you guys, tell me, what do you think? Do any of my selections, do they figure in your cardinal sins? Did you enjoy it? What do you think? Give me your thoughts, your comments, your questions down in the comment section below. Boop, boop. And if you yourself made a VR for that hashtag, let me know. Put it in the comment section as well, so I can watch it, because I do enjoy listening to everybody's responses. It's really fun to hear everybody's opinion and their reason and their mini vent sessions at the same time. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video, because now I'm running at almost an hour and I'm not going to cut it, like edit it or whichever else. So, you know, thank you for spending some time, even leaving it in the background while you're doing your things. And until next time, thank you for watching, and talk to y'all later. Bye bye.